ये पाकिस्तान को हमने वी बेसिकली रिक्रिएटेड द पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट टीम। वो थोड़े तुम बड़ौदा वाले 2 लोग आ जाओ, तुम वो मेरठ वाले 2 लोग, तुम अरे भाई तुम वो फ्लाइट पकड़ लेना, साथ में वो टिकट तुमको वो एयरपोर्ट पे मिल जाएगा, ऐसा वाला करके वी क्रिएटेड वन ओडीआई टीम, राइट, फुल जुगाड़।
The best batter ever has been dumped as captain. Your attack appears to have little penetration. Your premier fast bowler's been struggling with injury. Well, it hasn't been your hour, your session, your day, or even your match. Remember, your team is India in the 90s. When the rain starts to fall, your team is India in the 90s. Like we've been there before. Your team is India in the 90s. 'Cause you're there for us too.
Everyone, welcome to episode 102 of Bits and Pieces. After more than 100 episodes, I'm here to tell you that we're changing. No longer are we a podcast where we get a bunch of random riffraff who are free on Sunday to come and talk about whatever they saw or did not see about cricket that week. No more are we a podcast where we get a bunch of amateurs who know nothing about cricket to come and banter about things that happened in the cricket world. No, we are now a podcast of experts. We have graduated. And this carefully selected panel is basically it's a bunch of people, all with bringing their own unique and specific expertise about what happened in the week before. First of all, Australia. Pakistan decided to go to Australia. They're playing a test series right now. And currently at this point in time, they're facing a lot of questions. They're very confused. And so all the way from Australia, our special down under correspondent and specialist of unanswered questions, please welcome Adi. Adi, how are you doing?
Thanks, PGK. I must say that the prodigal has returned home. So I'm watching the Australia-Pakistan test in Bangalore.
Oh,
Okay. All right. These are all things. Your expertise is still there, irrespective of the geography that you
I would like to believe it's not left me behind. Yes.
Absolutely. The specific expertise about Pakistan, Australia, and unanswered questions. Thank you for coming on the pod.
Thank you.
Of course, there is also another test match that just got over. The India women's test just ended and India had a resounding victory. And we've decided to get a very, very special person, an expert on all things women's cricket, and someone with the ability to unite male Virat fans and male Rohit fans all together in opposition. Here is Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi, say hi.
Hi, it's the first time in my life I've been referred to as an expert of anything, but I'll take it. Thank you.
No. Don't say such things. This is an expert panel, carefully selected. So many people wanted to be here and they are not here.
Yeah.
So, another thing that's going on right now is the T20 series between India and South Africa. 3 T20s have been done and we are going to start an ODI series today. And so, expert of all kinds of random cricket tournaments which seem to have no bearing whatsoever, low-rung cricket tournaments, all the way from the Lodha Cup. Please say hi, Sandy ji.
Hi. You chose to link me to India South Africa T20 series. I have not watched it. Just
No. But you are not here because of your expertise in India or South Africa. You're here because of your expertise in irrelevant tournaments. That is why you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Great.
And finally, the biggest news of the week. Hardik Pandya is not just back in Mumbai Indians, he's also Mumbai Indians captain. A lot of people are upset, and as a result of this, we decided to call on someone who's a big expert in the art of corporate politics, what's going on inside companies, and our current and special backstabbing correspondent. Everyone say hi to Iman Pandey.
hey guys. Hey.
Iman, we look forward to listening to your views about all the various backstabbing and the politics that goes on and how you should actually express it, mostly using emojis on Twitter or on Instagram posts that you should delete immediately. So we will talk
and how
to you about
Mumbai
that.
Indians is coming out with a sequel to The Art of War by Sun Tzu to discuss backroom chicanery.
All right, we'll talk about that as well. Maybe that's where we should begin, right? Let's talk a little bit about the hottest thing that's going on right now. And I think that just to recap, Mumbai Indians basically a few weeks back went and did a transfer. It was a very questionable transfer of Hardik Pandya all the way from Gujarat. Multiple episodes have been spent on this podcast trying to analyze the transfer and trying to figure out the numbers. And I don't think we have figured it out yet. But right now, Hardik Pandya is not just back, and a lot of people assumed that maybe he would not be the captain for now. Maybe Rohit would be at least a captain, but no, Rohit is gone. Hardik Pandya is in. Bumrah is unhappy. Sky is unhappy. Ishan Kishan, no one knows. But here is where we are. People, we should talk about this. Maybe this is where we should begin. I think I should start with Vaishnavi. I know Vaishnavi has some really strong views about Hardik Pandya. I've seen a few tweets here and there. So maybe I think I'll start with Vaishnavi and see where it goes from there.
Look, I mean, I'm not a Hardik Pandya fan. I think you already pointed that out. But he's clearly a very highly valued and sought after commodity in the cricket auction space. How much that is about his actual skill and how much it is about the complete poverty we have in fast bowling all-rounders, I don't know. But I mean, it does make sense, I guess, this whole thing. I think one of the reasons that, at least one of the rumors about Hardik moving to GT in the first place was because he wanted the captaincy, right? I mean, that was one of the rumors floating about. It does make sense. I don't follow the IPL very closely, but I do know that Rohit has had a pretty bad run of it in some time. I think, right? 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, not scoring very much, not scoring very fast. So I guess, and I think in general, MI has a history of being quite ruthless with its leadership and just letting them go and transitioning them to, leadership roles or coaching roles. Having said that, I would have just thought it would have been better to have that statement perhaps come out from Rohit. This seems very much like the whole Kohli Ganguly episode from 2 years ago, and I just think it's unprofessional. I don't know necessarily objectively that I think it's a bad call. Without getting into the tactics of each of these captains and all that, but I just don't think it's a bad call. I just think the way it was done was just very subcontinental, very desi, just very unprofessional. I'm currently reading. Yeah, sorry.
No, go on.
No, I just finished reading Wasim Akram's book Sultan, and the just constant chopping, changing of the captains, and I was just like, nothing has changed in Desi captaincy or management in 30 years.
Yeah. But Wasim didn't kick Imran out, but here, of course. So I my personal point of view is I think it was bound to happen. Someday Rohit had to move out, and they did it. MI did it this year. But the way the things unfolded was really not so professional, we can say, but it's expected. It's IPL. You don't expect it to be, fair to everyone. And
but Sandy G, is it also because in Indian cricket specifically we have a problem where cricketers who have passed their sell-by date don't voluntarily put their hand up and say, you know what, I think my time is done, and maybe let's try and work on a gradual transition, right? Again, I don't know whether Rohit was given a chance to go out on his own terms, but he was kicking and balling and say, no, I won't do it. You guys throw me out. And it came to that, right? So I'm not sure if there was some bit to that, because you look at how we managed even Kohli and Virat post the T20 World Cup last year, right? We still don't know, are they permanently taking deep rest from T20 cricket, or come IPL, they'll be announced for the World Cup in June, July next year, right? It's a world of uncertainty. And I think it doesn't help, because the next crop for waiting, they're like, will they, won't they, will I actually get a chance? So it's not working well for anybody, right? You might as well do an orderly transition and ensure that everybody's on the same page. But if what I'm hoping for is as good as expecting pigs to fly, so it's never going to happen, I reckon.
I mean, I have lots of thoughts, but I want to throw it to Iman. Iman, you are the expert. Okay, tell us what actually is happening here.
See, I think MI wasn't wrong in being ruthless in thinking about the young generation and stuff like that, and doing succession planning. And rightly so, they narrowed it down to a Pandya. But unfortunately, they chose the wrong Pandya. they, like if you compare like Krunal versus Hardik, like how can you choose Hardik? If you look at things which make a captain, right? Few traits, right? Which MS Dhoni has taught us. You got to be great in fielding. You got to be great in inspiring your team. You should not be scoring runs on your own, right? You should be able to play sustainably over a period of time. Now you look at Hardik. Hardik, he'll play 5 matches, boss. 6th match, कहीं दर्द हो जाएगा उसको. कभी दिल पे, कभी घुटने पे, कभी inner thighs पे, पता नहीं, somewhere. Second, Hardik, yeah, sometimes his ego, gets the better of him and he himself scores runs. That is not how captains are supposed to be. You got to throw a challenge to your team, right? Krunal does it really well. And then fielding wise, Krunal is far better than Hardik. So, yeah, given all these perspectives, I think fundamentally, thought process wise, first principle based thinking as product managers and corporate bullshit will tell you, MI did the right way. They thought in the right direction. They did everything right. They narrowed down to Pandya as a family, but they chose the wrong Pandya. I think that's where they made a mistake. And as for Addy's comment on, captains should let, IPL captains should, figure out that their time is up and they should go. I don't think IPL was created because of that. Yeah, IPL was created for, superstar players of Indian cricket team to play till 70, right? So generally we retire people at 36, 37, 38, right? From international cricket. IPL is there till 70, right? So Dhoni is showing us the path. So obviously Rohit Sharma will become a captain somewhere else. That is what is going to happen. So that's my perspective. Wrong Pandya, and Rohit will still captain somebody.
I always ask who are the Hardik Pandya fans? Where are they? I can't find them. Now I'm asking a deeper question. Where are the Krunal Pandya fans? I didn't realize that there is a Krunal Pandya fan. I've never met a Krunal Pandya fan ever. Not even on the internet.
And what's the sample size of Krunal's captaincy history? Like Iman speaking, like Krunal has captained 50 matches over a career across several franchises. The confidence.
He was the captain of Baroda when he and Deepak Huda had a big fight.
Oh yeah, right.
Which is again pure captaincy.
If I had to get somebody back into their team, it had to be Krunal, guys. It cannot be Hardik.
But Iman, to your point,
the best one back.
To your point, it would have been 100 times cheaper for them to get Krunal. They wouldn't have to let go Cameron Green. They would have probably let go of Aditya Tare or someone. But great analysis, Iman.
I saw this wonderful meme of Gautam Gambhir's face and somebody asking him Rohit or Pandya, and he says Tim David. That is what I have reminded. Okay, interesting. Yeah. But I think the real thing that fine, I get that you want to move past Rohit, the sell by date, etc. I think the question that really puzzles me is it really worth it to get in a pace bowling all-rounder, as Vaishnavi said? Yes, we understand that that's very valuable. Is that still worth losing all the morale in the team with Bumrah, Sky, Rohit? Well, maybe Ishan, I don't know. But I think those three at least, like, is it really going to be worth it? Don't know. Seems very weird.
No, I don't think Hardik is going to bowl. Like, wo kab bowling karega yaar? He's not going to bowl.
No, but these three were in line for captaincy, boss. Bumrah was in line for captaincy. Sky wasn't. Mumbai keeps saying, "Oh, we are loyal. We care about our team and all that." Now they've screwed them over.
Matlab, we have to do some more deep research to figure out what happened in that corporate world.
I think our media is so great. They showed a picture of Rohit with no expressions at the airport, and said the caption said that Rohit leaving for South Africa with no expressions, like intending to say that he was very sad. Next day, someone posts on Twitter that Mumbai Indians 10 or 11 players have gone to Guwahati with Rohit Sharma planning something. What? I mean, media just needs some kind of
Yeah.
attention to
No,
this
the
entire
second one that you
controversy.
said is obviously a parody. It was a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
This
yeah.
thing. But
This
the
is-
first one was very seriously reported. You're right.
Yeah.
Vaishnavi, is there any legal precedent here? Is there something that Rohit can do? Can you like take court? Can you call lawyers, take a stay order, something? I don't know. Just tell us.
I think Rohit could possibly find any, again, Gyan from Wasim Bhai's book, because there is so much about how various coups were happening within a captain's captaincy. I think that's his best chance. No legal precedent, straight up from Pakistan cricket.
Uh,
Yeah, there are many opportunities for Rohit. Yeah, come on, guys. There are many opportunities. He will captain some team.
yeah.
He's eligible for CSK captaincy.
No, that is not.
Yeah.
There's still 30 years to go. That is not. Yeah, 70 is a retirement age. No, that is not there. You can choose other teams. For example, that's precisely why we have gotten our special correspondent, investigative journalist. Addy is there. Obviously, his face has now been disclosed. And then we have another, investigative journalist whose name is Mohan K, who has specially gone into Bombay to figure these words out. And rumor mills are going, high on the fact that I don't think Bumrah or these guys are angry with this move. What has really happened, right? The collateral loss of this stupid move is Ishan Kishan and Piyush Chawla. They will move to CSK. They were eyeing that captaincy spot, guys. It was not Bumrah, it was not Sky, right? So Ishkish and Piyush Chawla, these guys are trying to, move to CSK, and they're the right contenders to move to CSK, right?
I think Piyush Chawla is probably right, Iman, because he is also referred to as Bhishma Pitama because of his age.
Correct.
So I think if you're a Bhishma Pitama, I think, as they say, 38 is the new 70 for CSK.
Correct.
So I think Piyush has a shoe in. Ishan is probably a bit too young. Maybe give him a couple of more seasons and then CSK might scout him out.
No, Ishan is not going to play, right? That is not Ishan's role. Ishan is to get bottles of water and drink it on the pitch.
So this is like Davis Cup, non-playing captain.
Correct. For the next 15-20 years, he's going to, carry drinks and drink it on the pitch himself.
But friends, what do we think about like other innovative and out of the box methods of solving this problem? Like very famously, like how KKR did it, where they basically did this tri-captaincy committee, where they basically said that in one season you have 3 captains and each one captains like for certain number of games or certain part of this thing. So they had Ricky Ponting, they had Brendan McCullum, and they had Saurav Ganguly all at the same time, like taking the captaincy between them. Like, why can't we explore really, really innovative things like that?
But you are assuming that MI cares. MI doesn't care. They'll remove Rohit with no qualms and let Hardik manage the shit.
Twitter is going very heavy. Some of these blue tick guys are saying, boss, MI will lose followers and then Ambani will cry. See, I always take Twitter so seriously. So Sandy ji, you should also start taking
By the way, there are Instagram, reels or something that I saw where people are showing screenshots of Mumbai Indians followers on Instagram and how it has fallen. And it has fallen from 13 million to 12.9 million. Okay, so this is where it is. In the famous words of Kunal Kamra, तुम अंबानी हो यार, वास्तु तुम्हारा क्या उखाड़ सकता है?
बाकी सब अंबानी है, एक वो अंबानी के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है. Oh God, it's insane. Yeah, but to the point which PGK was making around this musical chair of captaincy.
Yes,
we have seen it. We have seen it being implemented in many places. It is disastrous, but it is great to play politics that way, right? So obviously, see, it is going to happen by default. So with Hardik, right, after 5 matches, he will not play by default. He won't play. So you have Sky, because Sky will most likely play. Bumrah also will get injured time and again. So वो triangle होता रहेगा. What will eventually happen will Sky will captain the most. Like the number of innings in which Sky will captain MI will be highest in this order, just because of his ability to not do it. So he will basically come and do some helicopter shots and go, right? Very, very low chances of getting any injury. So he will do that well, right? So Pandya and Bumrah unfortunately will play lesser matches.
Coincidentally, Sky is currently injured because he fell down in the last match.
दिल पे चोट लगा होगा.
I'm telling you, Tim David captain. It's coming. It's happening. Okay. To wrap up, Vaishnavi, is there anything you can share from Pakistan cricket from the Wasim Akram Imran Khan days that give some hope and inspiration to people like Rohit and Sky and Bumrah and everybody else? Is there something that you can, some anecdote, something that you remember from the book?
It's still going on, no? Suddenly Babar is gone, Shan is in place, Shan who didn't have an international career until then. So, I mean, probably the only thing someone could tell Rohit is that there is always a chance to come back. Just like Javed Mian that came back to, what, the 1996 World Cup? Was it?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, this is all new information to me from the book. Have not watched it. But yeah, I mean, anything is possible. You could play 5, 6 World Cups. You could do anything. You come back after 5 years and still captain an IPL franchise.
Okay,
It's basic cricket.
We look forward to having Dhoni back in 2027 World Cup. But that is a great segue. That is a great segue to what's happening right now down under. Pakistan have just started the tour of Australia, and they have found out that it is not easy to tour Australia. Adi, would you like to talk to us about what's been going on down under?
So I think I'll start with just the build up to the summer of cricket, right? So there's been a lot of talk in Australia about how Australians are probably losing love with cricket, because just as a quick primer, how the seasons work in Australia, right? So pretty much from April to September is when it is AFL football and rugby league. Those two codes is the talk of the country, right? And then come September, when you have the grand final at the end of the last week of September, then from October onwards, the buzz for cricket starts to come, and then it gets traction in November. But unfortunately, this year, there's been no buzz at all, right? Despite the fact that Australia won the World Cup. So you reckon that most of the guys who play the World Cup also play in the test team, Marsh, Warner, the bowling attack. But I think it's also a quality of the opposition. So Pakistan and West Indies don't really have any of those rivalries whom they can kind of focus on. So when Kohli comes here, there's Kohli camp, right? It doesn't matter that there are 10 other guys in the team, but all the promos are Kohli, Kohli, Kohli versus the rest of the team, right? So that's probably been one reason why it's been a bit of a dampener to the start of the test series. And then parallelly, there's been this other debate about Perth hosting a test match. So just as background, right? So 12 months ago, there was this campaign to get rid of Justin Langer as the coach of the Australian team. And he's one of the favorite sons of the West. So given the way it was treated, there was a view that maybe we should not be going and watching cricket at the stadium, just as a silent boycott about how JL was treated, right? So last summer, when they played the test in Perth against the Windies, it was almost like a silent boycott where the teams didn't turn up, right? They didn't want a repeat of that, because one thing which Perth is worried about is if they continue to have poor crowds, you won't get an England test or an India test, which happened to them the last time India toured, where they had 4 tests, but Perth missed out. So because of that, there's been a concerted effort to brand this test the West Test, as in calling it separately from all the tests which happen on the Eastern Seaboard, right? So they actually
that is why they're calling it West Test.
West
I saw
Test.
this West Test. I was like, what is this? Some new, what weird branding is this? Okay, interesting. Now I get
right?
it.
And to kind of also ensure that because the WACA still is in the front of many people's imagination when it comes to a test in Perth, Fremantle Doctor, fast bouncy pitches, etc. So they've tried to recreate a bit of the WACA at the new stadium by actually having grass banks where people could sit separate from the stands, which was a big feature of a test at the WACA, where you could just sit on the grass banks, have those funny banners, run amok at the back and all of that. So they've tried a few things to get crowds, but unfortunately they haven't turned up, just given the fact that Pakistan, lack of any key matchups, plus the fact that they were always going to be lagging behind the 8 ball, and they clearly have been in this test match, notwithstanding the fact that there have been some decent performances by the debutants Shahzad and Jamal. I thought they bowled quite well, but unfortunately not enough support from the other end, either from Shaheen or a spinner. They went in with Agha Salman, who's a batting all-rounder, and they pretty much stacked the batting until 8, but they still haven't been able to score enough. And in Australia, as we've all realized over the years of waking up at 5 in the morning and watching it, it's a pretty ruthless place. So if you don't get ahead in the first innings of your tour, it's very difficult for you to come back.
The irony is that at least if you're in India, if it's Perth, you don't have to wake up that early. You can wake up
Exactly.
a little later.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but when you wake up and watch, the pain is even more because
Exactly.
it's Perth. So you wake up and you look at the score like, oh my god, what just happened here?
I actually found some parallels in the way Cricket Australia thought and the way MI thought. Just to put it in perspective, right? So whatever Addy said, it made a lot of sense again, right? Yeah, we have to plan it in a way, Perth has to get back its
Glory.
and so on and so forth, right? सब सही सोचा, everything was fine. गलती ये हो गया कि cricket is played between two teams. Unfortunately, the team that you chose is Pakistan for a test match. I don't know why you do that. Like, why will you do that? Like, after a World Cup win, where you were anyway, trying to get back Australia, cricket in Australia, some hype and so on and so forth. Why would you call Pakistan to your country and then play at this point in time where the Pakistan Test 11 is basically, other than Babar, it is everybody else just come in and play. It's like our Bits and Pieces podcast minus this specific podcast because this was
This is of course very carefully curated. Go on.
Pakistan cricket team is exactly like that. Why will you call them to your backyard and thrash them? What fun is that? I just don't get it.
Next tour is of West Indies, by the way, to Australia.
This is a teaser.
No, but the thing that's true is that even though you might say it's Pakistan, fine, but Australia have not been, oh, chalo isko debut de denge, let's try this person out, let's try this new number 5. Nothing. They are playing their number 1 11. This is the same 11 that won the WTC. I mean, I think it's probably the same team. So they are like, no, it's fine. We will go full on, all out. We'll play 100 on 100 and we will grind you to the ground. Oh, by the way, as we speak right now and as we are recording, they have set a target of 452 Pakistan. Pakistan have already lost their first wicket and
second
also gone. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, very
yeah.
good. 2 wickets gone. Okay, fine. So now it doesn't look like.
But-
Shan is gone.
Adi, to your point, I think you were saying that Australians are slightly losing interest in cricket, and there were a lot of news around how Pat Cummins came back from the World Cup, and there was not much media, or not many
In
fans
fact,
to
in
receive.
that video, there's actually one Desi girl who's actually wanted to take a selfie with him. No Aussie is around the side. Only one Desi girl is like, yeah, Pat Cummins, I remember him. He was the winning captain. Can I take a selfie? She kind of came sheepishly to him. And but the rest of the country, they haven't had it because, as we all know, after the World Cup, within 4 days, we had a great IDFC T20 series, which the pod has discussed in great detail. And then pretty much after the team returned, the Big Bash started, right? And they were all spread across the country. So there hasn't been an actual parade to actually welcome the heroes. In saying that, I think BCCI has still not done a parade for the last Border Gavaskar trophy we won in Australia after Gabba, right? We haven't celebrated that enough, I reckon. I think it's still quite a big deal, but we haven't done it. But there it is. And then while we're talking about the West Test, there was an interesting anecdote from Isha Guha yesterday on commentary. She kind of snuck it past, and Adam Wilkes raised his eyebrows. So the Pakistani pacers have been complaining that the speed guns are not showing their true pace. And I'll get Iman to kind of speak about how this is in Chanakya Niti and what it means when you kind of underplay an opposition pace attacks pace. And then Isha Guha countered and said, in the 2005 Ashes, the famous one in England, which they still haven't stopped crowing about, apparently the English board intentionally lowered the pace of the pace guns when the Aussie bowlers were bowling, is what she said, right? So Adam Wilkes was like, is that even possible? And Isha Guha said, yeah, you can tamper with the pace guns so that you can, decide how you want the opposition's pace to look like. So she said that yesterday. I was like, wow, I didn't know that could be done. But clearly it was done.
I mean, even when Jamal and all were bowling, it was
low
just
130s.
showing, it was showing 132, 133.
Yeah.
And the ball that he bowled to, I think, Alex Carey, which was an amazing delivery.
Yeah.
I think that showed around 136 or something. And I mean...
that was when the guy operating it went for a toilet break. So he didn't tamper with it.
But Adi, sorry.
I'm very interested in hearing the political and the Chanakya Niti ramifications of this amazing strategy. And also, any legal precedents for that strategy from the two of you?
The two experts.
Iman, the two experts. Please tell us.
Who is the other expert? I thought
Vaishnavi, of course.
Vaishnavi and Adi.
Vaishnavi, you go first, please.
No, I'm going to first take it from the general GAN and then get into the legal thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Iman,
sure.
please.
Iman, you know, the lawyer always comes at the end. We
That's
know
true.
this from wherever we have worked.
And then
Okay.
says no to putting that privacy.
And then says, no, you can't do this. So that's essentially what Vaishnavi's role is very clear here. So yeah,
Okay.
you might as well go.
Yeah, I generally think that Australia, not showing the true pace is also their, true, I would say that's their true color, which is to say that Pakistan team have come in with a bunch of youngsters whom they don't really know at this point in time. As I said, right, they've just picked them up. Tu Rawalpindi se aa, tu Karachi se aa, tu Lahore se aa, right? And now you put them into Australia in Perth. You start making them, look like rock stars. What will happen to people whom they have not picked, whom they had picked during the World Cup? Now everything will be questioned to say, boss, you picked your worst players for whatever the tournaments before it, and now you picked your best, your fast bowling gun bowlers after the World Cup. So just to ensure that nothing gets leaked, nothing gets caught by the media, I think Pakistan and Australia have colluded to figure out कि बॉस इनका पेस कम कर दो ताकि ऐसा लगे कि एकदम ही बेकार टीम है, ताकि नो क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड अराउंड आवर वर्ल्ड कप स्ट्रेटजी. कि वर्ल्ड कप में हमने सब सही किया था, बेस्ट टीम, हरीश राव वाज द बेस्ट चॉइस बॉलर दैट वी कुड हैव हैड, ऐसा दिखना चाहिए. तो पेस कम कर दो, इनको दबा दो, विकेट भी मत दो. वो तो गलती से उसको विकेट मिल गया यार जमाल भाई को.
So Iman is quoting Margaret Thatcher's famous line, "There is no alternative, Tina." We had to go with these bowlers.
Correct.
So no, I'm actually asking that if you can reduce the speed gun like this, which is a very underhanded and nefarious thing, as we can agree on, what else can you do? Can you also, maybe change the scoreboard? Maybe you show a different score and the people at the center don't realize it. Maybe you can change the number of balls that's delivered in an over.
Or what about the most common one where you tinker with the DRS? How
Exactly.
the seal goes off the pitch.
We saw that in South Africa.
We saw that in South Africa. What happened?
लेफ्ट से राइट मूव हो जाता है पूरा स्टंप. बॉल जहां जा रहा है वहां विकेट जा रहा है. इट इज लाइक द वे यू यूज्ड टू डू इन आवर गली क्रिकेट. अरे वो थोड़ा सा दो ईंटों को लेके साइड कर दिया, अरे यहीं से गया था. The same way DRS was happening for India.
The most ultimate form of this is where you change the ball itself, where you basically make sure that the opposition team gets one set of balls. When the home team comes to ball, they get a different set of balls with a sensor, which we all know is what happened with Indian bowlers during the World Cup. So India has basically gone to the very end and said, forget all of these steps. We'll skip everything. We'll come to the very end and we'll give special balls to Shami and Bumrah. But yes, Vaishnavi, is there anything that...
Sorry, one other point. Imagine if on the balls, it's one team actually gets a kookaburra ball, the other team gets a duke ball, but they still write kookaburra on top, thinking, hey, hamara ball itna swing kyun nahi ho raha hai?
I mean, India has gone one level ahead. No, we've already switched our pitches and all between a visiting team batting and our team batting. It's always a constant pitch switching. So yeah, I mean, Australia's got nothing on BCCI right now.
Between innings, Arijit Singh comes to sing, and then underneath Arijit Singh, they're changing the pitch, moving another pitch.
Yahi pitch tha.
Who said this?
Speaking of
they
pitches,
switch off the lights, okay, so that you can't see they're changing the pitch. Light band ho raha hai, people are singing Vande Mataram, pitch is being changed.
Not just switching off the lights, guys. वो laser मारता है आंखों में, ताकि you go partially blind. ताकि तुम ये perception अगर if you had this depth I'm able to compare pitch A versus pitch B. कब होता है? When you have some memory of pitch A, right? वो गायब कर देंगे laser मार के तुम्हारे आंखों में. You don't have any memory of pitch A. You suddenly see pitch B. Oh, यही तो मेरा pitch था. That is the strategy we have adopted.
Adi is sitting and looking speed gun. Speed gun which we have started 70s se we changed that. Now we are way ahead of this.
Adi, just wanted to ask, there have been a lot of talks about the Perth pitch. And even Hazelwood has come and said that this is a very difficult pitch to bat on. And it's, I was watching Khwaja bat and a few balls bounced from good length. So is it really that bad or how is it?
I think there are obviously a few cracks or things off the wicket where it's, like I think Labuschagne got hit last evening, and I think he just escaped a fracture scare. Khwaja got hit today on his elbow. Smith got hit on his forearm. I think it's just doing a bit. It's nothing very dangerous. But I think where you're going with this, Sandy G, is if the same thing were to happen in India, where suddenly there was a puff of dust, then I'm sure our friends in the English
pitches average, very poor. All these things start coming up.
Threat to Test cricket, all of that.
Yeah. And as we are speaking, Pakistan is 20-3. So
20-3.
I think that's a great place to leave Pakistan where they are in the West, and we should probably move forward to the wonderful, wonderful test that happened in India, the women's test. Maybe Vaishnavi, you want to just tell us a bit about, just summarize the test itself and your impressions, etc.
Yeah, I mean, this is another, example of how India is ruining Test cricket by wrapping matches up a day and a half in 2 days in advance with the crazy turning pitches. But I mean, it was a great Test match. I think if you were an India supporter, I think just all departments is fired. I'll be honest, I wasn't this hopeful when they went in, given how it's not a side that always inspires confidence, especially in the T20 formats, right? It's very Smriti does it, Harman does it one of the days, or it's not happening. So, I mean, that said, it is the kind of team that is like the men to an extent, right? I mean, you play Test cricket, these guys have techniques, they know how to bat. I mean, these women have techniques, they know how to bat. And they've had a fairly reasonably successful time of it in the past in Test cricket. They know. I mean, Australia, in my opinion, lucked out by all the rain that kept falling on the Australia tour. They somehow managed to pull a draw India when they went to Bristol 2 years ago. So I mean, they just batted really well, and you have a string of batters making 50s. It's just like a complete sort of team performance vibes. You have Renuka taking wickets in the first innings. You have Pooja taking wickets in the second innings. It wasn't just a spinning pitch, It was like fast bowlers also just getting rid of the openers. It almost seemed somewhat like what the men do, right? Make a lot of runs. The low order troubles you.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Wasn't Deepti Sharma the one who took the wickets in the first innings? If I'm not wrong, was it Deepti?
Yeah. But Renuka started.
She came in later. Oh, Renuka started. Fair enough. Yeah, you're right.
So
of course,
Deepti was the last bowler to be introduced, and she came and took 5 wickets.
Oh, okay. So, I just saw the figures at the end. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think they did somewhat of what the men do when the fast bowlers come and they just already make like 2 or 3 wickets fall really quickly, and then the opposition is already like what to do, and then the spinners come and then they just get in. And they just don't give them room to breathe. And I mean, this is not a feeling you're familiar with if you watch women's cricket in India, because we don't play enough Test matches. Also, I don't think
it's definitely a feeling you don't have if you watch women's cricket, because exactly as you said, the last time they played a Test match in India was in 2014, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. 9 years, almost 10 years.
And it's definitely not a familiar.
Yeah, also we don't get results, right? It's a 4-day pitch. I mean, it's a 4-day match. Also, pitches don't tend to be result oriented. So I think this was just a great performance in general. I think it's an interesting sort of prelude to the upcoming ICC events, the T20 World Cup in Bangladesh in 24 and the T50 over World Cup in India in 25, wherein you'd imagine a lot of teams would encounter surfaces like this. May not be to this level of deterioration, perhaps 3 days, 4 days, but you will encounter increasingly slow pitches, the kind we see in emerging Asia or the Asia Cup. And then it's an interesting question as to what teams that aren't super comfortable with spin, England, for example, you would peg them always to, make the final 2 or 3 in a ICC event, but are they going to be able to do that on these sort of pitches? What happens to say
So what you're saying is there is a chance that the Indian women's team may get an ICC trophy before the Indian men's team and put an end to this entire drought. That's what you're saying, because 2024 is Bangladesh, 2024 is India. So it's quite possible.
It can.
I mean, of course, you'll beat Australia, but still. But still.
But Vaishnavi, to your point, I think we entirely outplayed England in this Test match. I think, we batted so well in the first innings. All of them applied. There was a point when they took the second new ball and Bell was really swinging the ball, but Deepti Sharma, kind of held on to her usual self, and then started playing those balls and then started hitting. And 450s, they dropped a lot of catches also. England team dropped a lot of catches in the first innings. And then I thought, brilliant planning. I should say that by when we were fielding, like, they had specific plans when Renuka was bowling, because she was swinging the ball in. They had a leg gully and a kind of short square leg, both kept there. And you know England batters were trying to get out of the crease to counter this swing. Then Yastika came to the stumps and she didn't move from there. So that also, then they had to be in the crease, and then Renuka bowled those beautiful swinging balls. And it was amazing to see. At one point, I think when spinners were bowling, there was a slip on the offside. There was a slip. There was a deep extra cover probably, and one mid off. There was no one in the middle, because they were actually challenging the batters that go ahead and hit a square cut if you can. And because of the off spinners were bowling, they were not able to. And I thought England batters batted pretty poorly. It was not a pitch at all to bat. I mean, they kept on in the first innings. They kept on hitting square cuts, trying to hit square cuts. Three of them got out, two bowled, one LBW. In the second innings, counter the spin, they started hitting sweeps, and again, I think they faltered a lot. And I am really liking Vaishnavi. I don't know about you, but I'm really liking Amol Muzumdar being there as a coach. Because at one point, I think when in the first innings, England got out for 136, and Harmanpreet wanted to take a decision on follow on at the ground itself. And Amol Muzumdar quietly signaled to her that come inside, we'll take a decision. There is time, we'll take a decision. They got in and they decided to bat again. I mean, I really liked that bit, and hats off to everyone. Excellent game.
And Vaishnavi, just on that point, on next year's obviously the ICC events, but before that we have Australia and the Indian women playing on the 21st. And Alyssa Healy, who replaced Meg Lanning recently, said, in fact, she fired shots before they left Australia too, saying, if you give us spinning tracks, be careful, because we have a battery of good spinners in Alana King, Sophie Wareham, and all of that. So given what you've seen of the Indian women spinners versus the Australian spinners, do you reckon it's going to be a closer game at Wankhede next week? I think you're on mute, Vaishnavi.
No, go on. I think it's your internet. No, now we can't hear you. Maybe you got something wrong with your connection within your mic and your Bluetooth. Maybe you can just. Nope. Unfortunately, no. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Now I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of questions I also had when I was watching this match is that, I mean, obviously the Indian spinners did bowl very well, but Sophie Ecclestone is the best spinner in the world and has been the best spinner in the world for some time now, right? You would think that she would have been more effective, but she wasn't. I think, and one of the questions I had is, and obviously I'm not an expert on this sort of stuff, but I did wonder is, Sophie is a very fast bowler, right? And that does greatly work to her advantage in white ball cricket. I was wondering if that worked to her detriment here, because Deepthi is famous for those ones that she just spears into the wicket. But she gave it some rip yesterday. There was a lot of Rajeshwari is anyone who gives it a lot of flight anyway. Charlie Dean also tends to throw the ball up. So when the pitch sort of got helpful to them in the second Indian innings of batting, she did take 4 wickets. I wonder if Sophie's tendency to sort of maybe just give it less loop up, bowl a little faster, maybe worked against her here. I wonder if the Aussie spinners will know how to vary, their pace on that thing, because Ash Gardner again tends to be a slightly faster bowler. I wonder how it is, but I do think that, they have a seriously good spin attack, and they have so many pace all-rounders. They can possibly afford to go in without even one frontline pacer. Just make do with the 3 fast bowling all-rounders and just load the team with, spinners.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll still bat till 9. So I definitely think it will be a closer contest. I'm not entirely sure about how it will,
Pan out. Yeah.
pan out, because I think the leadership of Meg Lanning is going to be missed. We've seen Alisa Healy didn't do the greatest job of it. She's a fantastic shit stirrer, obviously, but she didn't do the best job of captaining the Ashes. Very honestly, there were lots of obvious, glaring tactical errors. But I think from a viewer's perspective, this will definitely be a better match to watch.
And it's a bit hard, actually, right? Alyssa Healy. I mean, every captain wants to kind of get a few easy games at home, ease into captainship. So she got the Ashes. Now she's coming to India. As hard as places as any captain can tour in any gender, right? Male or female.
Absolutely.
And
these are.
And she's coming off an injury too. So it's like she's not had match practice.
She's not. Yeah.
How many games is Australia playing?
One test.
Yeah, just one test, one off test. It's a white ball series with one off test.
The usual multi-format: 1 test, 3 ODIs, 3 T20s.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But
that's a
Addy and Vaishnavi, I think to your point, what happened during this England test was because Sophie and to some extent Dean also are they have a good height, right? So their ball kept on bouncing a bit more. Whereas Deepthi and Rajeshwari are
and
not
Snehra.
that. And Snehrana, they were bowling loopy, flighted balls, but also their ball was keeping low, relatively low. So that also may be the difference, because all Ash Gardner, I think other spinners also are quite, they have a good height. So that may also be a difference. And all matches are in Mumbai only. So looking forward.
It's interesting, right? Because we had the same issue with the men's in South Africa, where we didn't have enough tall bowlers. Whereas it turns out that, visiting teams, when they come here, if you're too tall, it's not to your benefit in India.
Yeah.
I think it's also the style that they bowl, right? We've seen this in the Ashes comparison, Jack Leach versus, let's say, Nathan Lyon. And Nathan Lyon tends to impart a lot of overspin. Jack Leach tends to use a side seam, and that doesn't possibly work there. But in India, you would want the seam to be more angled, which I think maybe both Sophie and Charlie Dean, I haven't seen those videos, but I know that Charlie Dean tends to impart a lot of overspin. And Sophie's very tall also. So, I mean, low bounce in India works.
Iman, any thoughts on all of these political machinations happening in the women's side?
Women's cricket I have just no idea. So hence I'm not able to share any random gyan.
So I might just, while we are there, add a bit of trivia on women's cricket.
Yes,
so,
I was going to ask if you would like to throw a few questions before we get into the final part, which is the useless series that's happening between India and South Africa somewhere. The nameless series will come to that. But yes.
In this just recently passed India-England test in Navi Mumbai, 4 India batters scored half tons, right? But 21 years ago, 5 Indian cricketers reached the landmark. Right. So now what I would like to know is what was very unique about this win by India in 2002. We're talking women's itself. So it was something which was done before even the men, which is a big clue. So just to reiterate, so in this recently passed test, the 4 India batters scored half tens, but 21 years ago, 5 Indian cricketers reached the landmark. I can give the names if it helps. So Anjum Chopra scored 80, Hemalata Kala scored 64, and she also took 3 wickets in the second innings. Mithali Raj 55, Anju Jain 52, and Mamta Meben 50 were the other 3. Bonus question: who was the coach of this team who has a connection to Delhi cricket? Yeah, so the question is, what was the unique thing the team did 21 years ago, even before the men?
Is it the first time the first top 5 scored half centuries?
No.
Was it the test?
That was by men also.
Was it the test with 2000? Sorry, Mithali got some 200 in the test. Was that the same test?
No, not this test.
Was this the test that... No, it can't be, because the men's must have crossed 500. I thought they crossed 500 in an innings. And
we're talking about 2002.
Yeah, 2002 ke pehle, no, they must have done it. So I'm just thinking.
And this test was in India, or obviously not in India?
Yeah.
There is a clue there. Okay. Oh, they won a test in Australia. Is that it?
No.
England.
No, this was
No.
England, right?
First
England, they
time.
had one. Oh, this
Yeah.
was England.
No,
Yeah,
How do
it
you
was
know?
England.
not England.
Not
Oh,
England.
oh,
No.
England.
Final roll of the dice. So,
Uh,
okay, think of other test played countries. I mean, we can go on for a while, but one final clue. So we eliminated
New
Australia,
Zealand.
eliminated England. Who's it?
South
New
Africa.
Zealand?
South Africa. First
Yes.
Okay.
victory abroad for
Oh,
the Indian women's
right.
team.
Oh,
In South
2002
Africa.
in PAL, and the men obviously won only in 2006.
Correct.
Right?
Oh.
So it turned out to be their first victory abroad. 2002. The scores were India 404 for 9 and 13 for no loss. South Africa 150 first innings and follow on all out for 266.
man.
And the coach was Tarak Sinha, who's a very famous coach in Delhi. So he was the coach of the team. So that was the bonus fun fact.
Nice. No one could
Nice.
answer.
So clearly the women are ahead of the men, and I think to Vaishnavi's point, they have a very good chance of bringing it home with the silverware next year, I reckon.
Yeah, I imagine many subcontinental teams will fancy themselves.
Yep, as they should.
Yeah.
Nice. Any other trivias?
I think we'll go with that for now.
Okay, fine.
Are
So
these
finally-
are these like you people can't answer anything?
No,
Let
no,
it be.
Yeah, if he hadn't gone down that route, we would have gone to like West Indies. Okay, did they play in US? Okay,
No,
yes.
I
Anyway.
think in 2014 also, when the test happened in India, it was with South Africa only, if I'm not
Yes,
wrong.
correct.
Yeah, that is
Correct,
that is the one where Harman took. I think she took 9 wickets. I think.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so. I remember 6 for, I think, in one innings. Was it?
Yeah, I think Deepti is the fourth Indian bowler to take 9 wickets or more in a test match, joining Julan Goswami 10 for 78 against England in Taunton in 2006. Harmanpreet 9 for 85 versus South Africa in Mysore in 2014, which is the test we're talking about. And Neetu
Wow.
David, who took 9 for 90 against England in Jamshedpur in 95.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on, I have a final question. What is it with Harmanpreet's running? Why does she not put the bat in the crease? I'm not understanding. What is it? This is like, what, the third time I've seen this happen?
Schoolgirl
Third or
mistake.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean-
It's
mistake,
so
as Sunil Gavaskar.
excruciatingly irritating to see
Yeah,
that.
just-
I mean, and she could have been the fifth batter to get 50, but anyways, I think she's just very casual while coming back because she thinks she will make her ground, and I think this is the second time her bat has gotten
Yeah.
fixed in the ground, and it was in the
And-
semi-final, right? World
Yeah.
Cup semi.
Catastrophic results of that last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, unlike the men, it's not like women have many tests to kind of correct the record, right? They get so
Yeah.
few. On a lighter note, England cricket, after the loss, said it was not our day, we'll come back. And someone said, when? You're not playing a
Yeah.
test match for quite some time, so when are you going to come back, right? So this concept of revenge or rivalry in women's cricket, unfortunately, in tests is so few and far in between.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just probably limited to the Ashes.
How
Yeah.
about the
That's
crowds, Vaishnavi, for the India-England women's game? It was free
It seemed
entry, I
like
know.
Yeah, I think it seemed like on Saturday people were getting in. I think the trouble with this is, and maybe it's just a scheduling thing, right? I mean, in India, what happens is we start everything on a Wednesday or Thursday, right? And
Yeah.
our matches get wrapped up so quickly. Essentially, your weekends are out. I don't know if that's a scheduling thing they need to look at, because you would imagine you'd have seen a decent crowd had it actually lasted Saturday afternoon, Sunday, but
Or even a day-night game, because I think when they last
Yes.
had that India-Australia series, the day-night games were packed. So
Yeah, they were great.
Again,
Plus-
we are being very logical here, which the BCCI clearly is not. So
And I think because it is a 4-day game, they can afford to start on Friday, keep it
I think
Saturday,
so.
Sunday, and Monday can be
think
the
so.
last. Even the Australia test is starting on Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that lasts the distance, given we're hoping for a contest, but who knows?
I'll say that all of this is true, but even if you benchmark it against the men's tests, it's not like men's tests are like going to all packed stadiums, even in like metros. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
by
Correct.
those standards, I feel like this is a very good outcome.
No, I think
But-
it's good. I think we saw reasonable traction, right, in the white ball games, evenings,
The white ball games are
two over
great,
the weekends.
absolutely.
That was great. So I think that's okay for now.
Yeah.
Plus,
I
DY
think-
I'm
Patil
actually-
was going to Navi Mumbai.
I'm actually quite hopeful, and I really, really genuinely hope that the women's team gets the ICC trophy even before the men's team does, like in 24-25, that will suddenly make a big difference. We saw what happened in like 2007 when like a very young team goes and gets a cup and suddenly the entire attention changes in that direction. I think it's a great opportunity. I
so.
hope it happens.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
I think
Great.
I think just one point we missed out, but there were 3 debutants from India in this match: Jemima,
Yeah.
Shubha, and Renuka.
Renuka. Yeah.
And
Right.
special mention to Shubha, the way she played in that innings, beautiful. I mean, we lost 2 wickets quite quickly in the first
Yeah.
innings, but she came. It was the first test. She was cover driving and straight driving their fast bowlers. Really a treat to watch. Unfortunately, I think she got injured, and hopefully, probably she'll recover before the Australia test. But she played really well in this test.
And to clarify, this is Jemima Rodriguez, not Goldsmith, whom Murli Kartik incorrectly referred to her as.
Yeah, Jemima also played well. She also made
yeah.
a 50. Yeah.
Very well. Yeah.
Vaishnav is probably reading about here as well. Go on.
No, I just think it's sad. I think when you look at women, Indian women at least play test cricket, you realize how oddly they're just so much better suited to the longer format and they just don't get to play. And they're constantly made to play T20s, which is not their game, given most of them lack the power to play that game. It's unfortunate because when you see these innings, you saw Yastika and how good she was, and she gets a lot of flack. I give her a lot of flack for her T20, but she's a fantastic cricketer in this format. She's both aggressive but has a great
And
technique. So it's just sad.
Imagine, when did you last see an all-rounder who has taken 9 wickets in a test match and scored 50 and played so well get for India get a man of the the player of the match award?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, Sneha Rana in Bristol in 2021 didn't get the player of the match, but it was an incredible all-round performance, match-saving innings from her. 80 and change she scored to save the match. But yeah, I mean, it's such a great feeling, and we just never get to see it.
Okay. Hope that changes soon. And now we are going to basically get to the last part, which is time to talk a little bit about a meaningless tournament that's going on between India and South Africa. Just to recap, there were 3 T20Is. The first one got washed out. The second one, I think South Africa won, and the third one was won by India as well. Well, Imanji, why don't you share how powerful and what is the meaning of this particular tournament, and what does it mean for India, Indians, South Africa, and cricket as a whole?
Yeah, when the when the squads got announced, T20 had some thoughts. क्या चलो कुछ thought लगाया.
He also has some
Those
thoughts.
were the thoughts.
Yeah.
वो भी thought लगाया. So the T20
still crying about the World Cup. Okay, go on.
Had some thoughts कि यार चलो इसको try कर लेते, उसको try कर लेते. ODI team, it was basically कि ओहो बेचारा को बुरा लगा होगा. इसको हमने वर्ल्ड कप में नहीं लिया, इसको हमने रणजी में भी ठीक से नहीं खेलने दिया, इसको हमने फुल टाइम पानी लेने के लिए बोला. No, he has just been around the team. बीच में कोई इंजर हो गया है, कोई NCA में कुछ घूम के आया. Basically everybody on the grounds of empathy, वो रूल लगा के एक टीम बनाया हमने, and we called it as the ODI squad. Now if you look at the ODI squad and you tell me why somebody in that squad and why somebody not in that squad, you can't answer that question. So the ODI matches start today, right? 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
Correct. 1 hour, 1.5 hours from now. We will see. They'll mostly get thrashed. Like at least the T20 team played something. I think it was 1-1. ODI, so they'll mostly get thrashed because I don't think that these bunch of players have played with each other. ऐसा भी नहीं है. They're like, oh भाई, ये पाकिस्तान को हमने we basically recreated the Pakistan cricket. ये पाकिस्तान को हमने we basically recreated the Pakistan cricket team. वो थोड़े तुम बड़ौदा वाले 2 लोग आ जाओ, तुम वो मेरठ वाले 2 लोग, तुम अरे भाई तुम वो फ्लाइट पकड़ लेना साथ में, वो टिकट तुमको वो एयरपोर्ट पे मिल जाएगा, ऐसा वाला करके we created one ODI team, right? Full जुगाड़.
The best batter ever has been dumped as captain. Your attack appears to have little penetration. Your premier fast bowler's been struggling with injury. Where hasn't been your your session, your day, or even your match. Remember, your team is India in the 90s. When the rain starts to fall, your team is India in the 90s. Like we've been there before. Your team is India in the 90s. 'Cause you're there for us too.
Like the BNP panel.
I like how Iman is pronouncing it as WOEDI, as an ODI, which is effectively where we are going to end up after the 3-match series.
Correct. ODI.
And
So,
they
yeah,
change the teams also now. They have made a lot of changes.
मतलब also you see and you can't really blame anyone there, right? क्योंकि क्या है future ODI का? इसके बाद क्या? ठीक है, मैंने खेल लिया. I have played this ODI.
Champions Trophy.
Yeah. I think you can always see which particular format is the most irrelevant right now for India, just to look and check whether Sanju Samson is in the squad or not. If Sanju Samson is in the squad, you know that this is the irrelevant.
The Sanju Samson index.
The Sanju Samson index. Now they're like, this they don't care.
Sanju Samson is in the squad, and Dravid and all have decided we won't come for the ODI. We'll directly come for the test. So
Dravid is not even there.
No,
He's
Dravid
there,
and coaching.
but they're focusing on the tests.
Yeah. They'll be at the test. Even Shreyas Iyer after the first ODI will go and join the test team. They're saying, let you guys play the ODI. We don't care, and let Sanju Samson perform. We won't be there to watch him, and then we'll drop him.
Test cricket for a reason.
Then we'll drop him.
To perform. Yeah, Adi, you mentioned Champions Trophy. Yeah, do you seriously think there will be Champions Trophy?
Well, okay. Because Pakistan, I like the headline as well. Pakistan has signed up with ICC to host the tournament. So I'm not sure what that means. Basically, it means that BCCI has not agreed, but ICC has agreed.
ICC वो तो 3 letter है, BCCI में 4 letter है. How can ICC win over BCCI इसमें?
I like that is one interpretation. Vaishnavi's entire contract law course is now staring at us in the face. I studied contract law to analyze these things, and Iman is like 4 letter है वहाँ पे, यहाँ पे 3 letter. Obviously they're going to win.
Even after World Cup, we were playing IDFC first India-Australia series. People were like, oh, the ICC is 3 letters, IDFC is 4. We've won a better tournament.
Correct.
Lovely.
The reason why we're a country which invented the zero. Sorry,
I was asking how many ODIs are there? 3. 4. 3.
And today's the pink ODI.
अच्छा होता 2 होता 2. उसमें random, right? I don't know why are they even playing this ODI? Like why? ठीक है यार, test के लिए.
See, Iman, you're missing the tree for the woods. This is a reciprocal gesture from BCCI to get South Africa to host the IPL. Okay. So they are kind of front-ending it.
But then why ODI? If IPL, I think, is T20, right?
No, basically more ad revenue, right? Longer game, 6 hours. 6 into 3, 18 hours of ad revenue. So they can recoup their losses. Cricket South Africa.
What I really like about what Adi said was, he said you're missing the tree for the woods, when actually the saying is the other way around. But in this case, it's extremely appropriate. You're literally missing the tree. The tree is called ODI 1. Okay, the woods is called Cricket in South Africa series. But yeah, he's literally missing the tree for the woods. He's right about this.
Yeah.
Okay. And today is the pink ODI to support breast cancer awareness. Okay. On the same basis as the McGrath test in Sydney and the Lord's test for the Ruth Strauss Foundation.
That's great. I mean, so just to be clear, the pink ODI does not have the pink ball, right? Just like how the pink test does not use the pink ball. Yeah, that's a separate thing.
Just the jerseys, I think.
Yeah, jerseys, and even on the field, on the ground, they have they use a lot of pink around it.
ODI mein EV de Villiers went berserk, right?
Correct. Yes. That's the one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are we reserving our thing for the test series next week, PGK? Next week's episode for Boxing Day?
Yeah, we can. I think today is 17th, so I guess that'll be the curtain raiser for the test. But if anyone has any thoughts on the test, we can.
Just that Shami is officially out.
Yeah, Shami
is officially out. He was anyway asterisk even when the squad was announced. So most likely Prasidh Krishna will come in after his exploits in the India A game.
Yeah,
I mean, more importantly, it is going to be a very good litmus test, because last time after we lost South Africa, a lot of the analysis post facto was that
TBDs.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast bowlers,
exactly.
TFBs,
exactly.
Sorry.
TFBs, exactly. India did not have tall fast bowlers. They had tall fast bowlers. So now we will know if that was true, or will just tall fast bowlers work, or you really need good fast bowlers. I guess we'll find out. So I think that's
do
what
you
would-
reckon, Adi and PGK, do you reckon that Ashwin Shardul will not get a game again?
Shardul will get a game, I think, because I
Shardul
think
will
he scored a 50 plus, and I think he took a couple of wickets. So
Yeah.
he's primed to take the spot. Ashwin is busy with tour diaries from Chennai to Joburg, so he has a side hustle happening. So I think he's okay. He's going okay.
Yeah, I would like to see Ashwin play. I think last time in South Africa, he was
played.
okay. He was actually, his figures were not that great. I mean, but I felt that there were parts where he bowled really, really well, especially in that final test.
I think they were really hoping in both the tests that on the 4th or 5th day he'll really run through it and get India the game. But
Correct.
yeah, Dean Elgar decided to pitch himself to the wicket, and yeah, so I think that's going to hold Ashwin back.
Yeah, this series of left-hand batters, openers, who basically keep having that run of luck just continues. So it is just like how Travis had in the World Cup and WTC. Like, that was Dean Elgar. I think Dean Elgar had like 1 million false shots in that particular innings and just stuck in, and then they ended up winning it. Sorry, Vaishnavi, you saying.
No, I as a person, as a big Ashwin fan, I'm honestly hoping he doesn't play the series, because I think this is one of those nail in the coffin type series. It's just, you just can't win. It's a lose-lose situation for a spinner.
And he might as well save his legs for the India-England series, right?
Absolutely.
Get 40 wickets.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Early predictions.
So you guys are thinking India won't win this test series?
2 test series, doubt.
Yeah. I mean,
कैसे यार हम जीतेंगे, हमने पैसा दिया है यार, guys, come on. What brain is using? क्या बोल रहे हो यार? We have given money. We are funding them. We got to win.
I think South Africa is a little bit of a tricky team, and I do agree with Adi. It's just 2 tests, and we all know India first test they're going to lose the first test. They lose the first test everywhere. And
that's fine.
They're going to lose the first test, and
we'll
then
lose another one. Guys, ऐसे नहीं होता कि दोनों टेस्ट हार के नहीं. Guys, पैसा दिया है यार. Come on. We cannot.
If India somehow don't lose the first test, I think there is a reasonably good chance you can win a series in South Africa, which, by the way, will be the biggest accident that ever happens. They have never won a series in South Africa. They have not won the World Cup. Now suddenly you're coming and say, hey, we won a series in South Africa. And people will be like very surprised. What does this mean? Is it Rohit era, Kohli era? Which era is better? So yeah, it'll be really, really good.
Hardik era.
Okay. But I do think that Shardul will play.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. I hope Ashwin plays. Unlike Vaishnavi, I hope Ashwin plays. I think he can silence his detractors, but maybe not. We'll see. By detractors, I mean Tony Sebastian, of course, but still. Okay.
And India is getting into match practice by playing a very strong India A team as a tour match. India's main test team is playing the India A team in the tour match.
Really?
Yeah, they're not playing any South African team. Yep, it's an intra-team match.
It is correct only. No? It is right. Guys, listen, we have sent so many squads. We have sent a T20 squad. We have sent a ODI squad. We have sent a random squad, and we have sent the empathy squad, and then we now have a test squad. So they're playing each other in South Africa. Good weather, बढ़िया weather है यार.
Supporting breast cancer also.
ठीक है ना. Guys, पैसा भी दिया हमने. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि we are playing it for free. ऐसा नहीं है.
It's like our local cricket ना यार, पैसा दिया है तो हमारी 2 टीम्स को खिला दो. दूसरी टीम आ नहीं रही है, हम ही खेल लेते हैं.
हाँ, it's like NBA. पैसा देके घूमने गए हम.
It's like when you book a ground now, whether you book a turf or something,
that's
you might as well play.
There might be some truth to what Iman is saying, because most of the Indian IPL franchise teams own the SA20 teams. So if they don't let us win the test series, it's like the boy who takes the stumps and the bat home. I'm going home. That's it. No SA20.
You are right.
Oh, fun.
And in the women's cricket on Geo, there is an ad that comes in which ABD comes and says, Namaste Bharat. He's not saying India. I don't know why, but Namaste Bharat. And then that ad goes on to say that South Africa T20 series, league is starting and you have to watch it, etc.
अंडे जी एक बारी और बोलो ना. वो भारत तुम्हारा बढ़िया निकला.
Namaste Bharat.
Bharat.
I didn't realize he's saying Bharat still a long, like it plays on many times. So I think fourth or fifth time I realized, oh, he's saying Bharat.
The other interesting thing that's going to happen in the test series is that KL Rahul will probably keep. So I think this is going to be another interesting litmus test. Will be in South Africa of all places. So
whatever it takes, यार, Rahul has to please यार. वो stand जो करना है करो. पंत जब तक ना है तब तक KL Rahul से काम चलाते हैं. And KS Bharat को let's not bring.
Namaste KS Bharat. Okay,
Bharat को नहीं लाते हैं यार. Guys, please Rahul को please whatever it takes, we have to talk to VaMu, give him the right messages so that he can relay the right message to KL. यार KL को बोलते हैं तू कीपिंग कर भाई प्लीज वो भारत
Yeah, I think he declared that yesterday that I'll be batting in the middle order and I'll be wicket keeping in both ODI
and this is assuming he's confident he'll survive not getting injured after captaining the 3 ODIs. Okay.
Yeah.
Good on KL. Good on him.
I'm really fascinated with the fact that Shreyas Iyer is leaving after the first ODI, but KL Rahul is staying there for all 3 ODIs and then going
and doing keeping and batting in the test.
Yeah.
Okay, we wish the Indian team all the best for whatever they're going to do in South Africa. We'll see how
whichever format they're playing.
Whichever format they're playing. That's correct. We just have 2 other small things that happened. If you're watching the the Under-19 World Cup, you'll see that we basically had a replay of what happened in 2007, where India lost to Bangladesh and Pakistan lost to UAE. And now it turns out that all the people who booked tickets for India versus Pakistan Under-19 are now going to be watching Bangladesh versus UAE. Bangladesh versus UAE is essentially the game now to watch. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts, but I just thought I'll just mention that. And the second thing, of course, is that Haryana won a very famous victory at the Vijay Hazare Trophy.
Yes.
And very unexpected and such a weird dream to actually try to win it. So any thoughts on this and we can just wrap up.
Sumit Kumar, who is it clear?
Sumit Kumar, yes.
Yeah.
Who is the new Hardik Pandya. So we look forward to him.
Or the new Pradosh Ranjan Paul, who scored 160 against South Africa A for India A. And everybody is like, who the hell is Pradosh Ranjan Paul? Turns out he was Tamil Nadu's leading run getter in 2022-23.
Nice. Okay.
They're the 2 names which have come up in the last few weeks.
Nice.
Oh, I think yesterday's match was pretty interesting. At one point, Rajasthan needed around 80 or 90 from 80. And Abhijit Tomar was playing really. He had already scored a century, but then I think Harshal brought them back, Haryana back in the game by quick wickets. And it was interesting till the last. Rahul Char had also started hitting sixes, by the way. But till the last.
Is Chandrakant Pandit still coaching Haryana, Sandy ji? Or he's not? He's moved on?
I think I'm not sure if he's still coaching, but I think yesterday, all the India rejects, seeing all the India rejects on the field was pretty. There was Rahul Tewatia who was bowling, and I mean Haryana played well, held their nerves.
So this is like the ultimate India rejects because they couldn't make it to the ODI squad, T20 squad, or India squad.
Or India, India
squad. So this must be really the expendables.
There's another squad, empathy squad. They couldn't even make it there.
Oh, fun. All right. Anything else anyone wants to add? Do you have any trivia, Adi, to wrap up? Or are we done?
Let me just see if there's anything there. Now, did we ever touch upon the BCCI's T10 tournament? The big news.
Oh, yeah, sure. Fair. Let's talk a little bit about that. You want to just tell us a bit about that?
So there's apparently serious enough talks from credible sources which are saying that the BCCI is looking to have a T10 tournament or an equivalent in September, October, which is the peak festive season in India, aka more eyeballs and more advertising revenue, because who cares about people in the stadiums? And this is causing a lot of palpitations in Australia for sure, where apart from them crowding out the calendar with the IPL going on till May, the worry is, with this tournament happening in September, October, Cricket Australia is going to struggle to have its summer of cricket, because the IPL is going on from now pretty much from March to May, which means that when Australia tours India next, they'll have to come sometime in Jan and Feb. and technically
Oh.
summer is December to Feb in Australia. So they're worried that the more BCCI starts to creep into the cricket calendar in general, their traditional summer, and I'm sure England will have the same issue, is going to get more and more crimped. So that's the big worry. Apart from the fact that you will see most players saying we don't want to get central contracts and we'll just kind of be free agents. So yeah, I think it's still nothing's come out officially from any channels here, but credible sources have been speaking about this, and yeah, that's cause for concern.
No, it's not a concern. The solution is very easy. क्या करना है वो? Australia and England, they have to start hosting IPL. Solve हो जाएगा. Guys, this is
If you can't beat them, join them.
हाँ, crowdsource कर रहे हैं यार. IPL, they are now thinking big, like any software, right? You first build something which is IP, then you say कि boss, I am now giving it out to the whole world. I will open source this on entire thing. तो open source कर रहा है IPL को. Now वो BBL Australia has to forget. They have to now take IPL and make that as their part of their life. Similarly, England has to forget whatever their random tournaments they are playing. They have to pick IPL.
So basically, there is a Mumbai Indians chapter in Perth. There is an RCB chapter in Melbourne. That's what it is.
और वहाँ भी RCB हारेगा. That is the best part about it. Innovation is right there. You can change continents, but the
culture cannot be changed.
Correct.
Culture cannot be this thing.
And
right?
the things cannot be
Culture eats what strategy for breakfast. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Okay. CSK eats strategy with Dhoni, and culture eats strategy for breakfast. That's all is the lesson. Great. Awesome. That has been a wonderful episode. Anyone closing thoughts on anything that we've discussed? Anything that you're looking forward to?
Looking forward to India beating South Africa in the test.
Sure.
And the women beating Australia in the test before that.
Yes.
Sure. I want to say that 3 people will watch the first and 2 people will watch the second. But okay, I hope more people watch. But yes.
And amidst all the cricket we spoke about, PGK, we missed a very important series happening in New Zealand. Bangladesh versus New Zealand one-day cricket has started today.
It's fine. I think it's okay. Some series should be missed. Okay,
we also missed England versus West Indies, where Harry Brook yesterday scored 23 runs of the last over. But that's fine.
Okay. I think some teams we don't have to talk about.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter because it happens at 11 p.m. in the night and we don't care. It happens till early morning. Who watches?
Yeah. English media is like crazy, right? I was just watching the highlights. Salt really played well, right? He was the one who won the match. And they're going gaga about random Harry Brooks hitting random Dreras, who is bowling random full tosses, right? I think he is the find of the generation. I'm like, kya bol rahe ho, guys? Like your own player, Salt. He has scored a century standing on the other end. And you're not talking about him. You're talking about Harry Brooks, who is hitting 50-year-old Andy Ras, who is bowling full tosses on your, waist, at your waist height. So ये तो English media है. So I just switched it up उसके बाद.
By the way, guys, just to closing remarks, Pakistan is 48 for 4, and before PGK ends this podcast, they will be all out.
Yeah, they've lost Babar as well. Yeah, this is going to end really badly. I feel for them.
Lion needs 2 wickets for 500, right?
One just needs one. Yeah. It's possible that everyone else will get wickets and just deny him.
And just on cricket, the bingo, Zainab, who's a friend of the pod, said she reckons they'll be bowled out for 120. So they're just 72 runs away from doing that.
Okay. All the best to Pakistan and to Pakistan supporters as well. Cool. That is our episode. We had a wonderful time. I will be back next week when we talk about the test series. We talk about the women's side from India and Australia. And hopefully it's going to be a really, really fun calendar. Until, of course, as we all know, the IPL comes and consumes all of us. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. That's us from Bits and Pieces. Like, share, subscribe, as the kids say. And bye from everybody. Say bye, esteemed panel of experts.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.